Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my preview of the 2020-2021 AFC Divisional matchup, which pits the Baltimore Ravens against the Buffalo Bills. I do like the Bills to win this one in a tight game. Some of it's going to be just on virtue of them being at home, and I'm going to explain some other reasons why I do like them in this game. But Baltimore definitely has some swagger going into this contest. Lamar Jackson got off the snide and basically got that elusive playoff win, and this may actually help help propel Baltimore in this game. They definitely are. They don't really seem like they have any fear, and they're going to play. I think Buffalo. I would say they're going to play Buffalo to the bitter end in this contest. The one thing that stands out to me in this matchup is Baltimore in the regular season. They were number one in rushing offense. They were averaging like 191 yards per game as far as rushing offense goes, and I mean, that's almost unfathomable. That's a tremendous number. And the Bills were only 17th against the run this season. That's like the middle of the pack. I think a lot of it's going to come down to if if Buffalo can contain Lamar Jackson and company. Now, when they met into the last time they met was in the 2019 season, and Buffalo actually did contain Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson had around 40 or 50 yards rushing in that game. He wasn't much of a factor on the ground, even though Baltimore did prevail in that game 24-17. Now, the thing about this, though, is looking at the Ravens and that ravenous defense, they allowed just 13 points last week to the Tennessee Titans, and only like 3 points like to the Bengals the previous week. But the thing about this too is over the last three games for the Baltimore Ravens, they have only allowed, as far as touchdowns go, only two over three games. So the defense is really stepping up for the Ravens, and this is going to be a very big matchup between that Ravens vaunted defense and the Bills. Really the pass happy offense of the Buffalo Bills. Now the thing about this is. The Bills just barely got by Indy last week. It came down to a last play, a Hail Mary by Philip Rivers, which of course was incomplete. And this is a game, I mean, I do see this as very tight. You look at how these two teams have been playing going into this contest. Both have been on a little bit of a rampage. The Bills um, have won 7 consecutive games. Baltimore, I believe, has won like 5 or 6 consecutive games going into this one. And also, Baltimore is a formidable home team. They were 6-3 I believe, on the road, counting the postseason, and the Bills are 8-1 at home, counting the postseason. So you look at these teams, and they both have reason to have strong confidence and in emerging victorious in this one. Baltimore has dominated Buffalo in the recent time in this series. They've won 4 of 5 against 4 of the last 5 against Buffalo. They've won 3 consecutive games against the Bills, and again, including the 24-17 victory they had against Buffalo last season. But what we have to keep in mind is that Buffalo is vastly improved this season, I would say, and Baltimore may actually not be as good overall as they were compared to last season, because Baltimore did finish 14-2 the previous season in 2019-2020. This season they went 11-5, but got that elusive playoff win. Even if you were to say that Baltimore was basically comparable to what they were last season, you keep in mind the Bills are improved and they are going to be at home in this contest. The thing about this is too, in that matchup they had in 2019, which was again just a 7-point loss to Baltimore. Buffalo's quarterback Josh Allen was sacked 6 times for 41 yards. And the thing about that is he's likely not going to be sacked nearly as many times in this game. The Buffalo offensive line is very solid. They were ninth in the NFL this season in terms of sacks allowed. The offensive line, again, is very good for them. And the thing about this is when we look at this, and in that contest in 2019, Josh Allen had completed under 50% of his passes. His passing completion percentage this season is very good and among the best in the NFL. He won't throw. I believe he definitely will throw for he'll complete over 50% of his passes in this contest against Baltimore. Now, another thing too is looking at Josh Allen. He's also shown a lot of progression, evolution, and maturation as a quarterback this season. Lamar Jackson of Baltimore has to some degree as well, again getting that elusive playoff victory. And Lamar Jackson last week against the Titans made what was seen to me as a very mature play. And one of the announcers had commented on it, is that he stayed in bounds. It was like very little time left in the game, but he managed to stay in bounds and allow the clock to continue, and at least I allowed the clock to keep running, I believe. And another thing too is looking at this contest as well. Remember, the Bills, again, as I stated before, they ranked number 9 in sacks. Sacks allowed, they allowed 27 during the regular season. The Ravens were in the middle of the pack with 14 defensive sacks with like 34. But this game is so much about the Ravens defense versus the Buffalo offense. The Ravens were number 2 in scoring defense during the season, and the Buffalo was number 2 in scoring offense. The only team that scored more points per game than Buffalo were the Green Bay Packers. And this is, I think, when I look at this game, again, I stated earlier that Buffalo has the home field edge. We've seen how some teams this season have come through on the road in the postseason, with Cleveland really delivering that shocking victory to Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh last week. And it is conceivable that Baltimore can actually go into Buffalo and win this contest. This is a game, though, you're looking at. I think a lot of this is going to come down to, because you're having a lot of they're really evenly matching a number of areas, even in the kicking on kick return average in the regular season. These teams were ranked number 1 and 2. The Bills were number 1, Ravens number 2. They both were +4 in turnover differential in the regular season. And also, I mean, looking at these teams, they were also very close in terms of takeaways. The Bills, I'm going to check, but I'm checking on the numbers here. But the Bills, I believe, had 26. Yes, the Bills had 26 in the regular season, and Baltimore 22. So they know how to get to create takeaways and create turnovers. The thing about this is, and given that they're so very evenly matched in a number of statistical categories, one of the main, I think where there'd be a slight edge for Buffalo is going to be their passing game against the Baltimore Ravens pass defense. Yes, the Baltimore the defense in general has been really, it's played at a phenomenal level over the last 3 games, but Buffalo during the regular season were ranked number 2. Buffalo was ranked number 3 in passing offense, and the Ravens were number 7 in pass defense. Number 7 in pass defense is certainly a number you wouldn't scoff at, but I do see the Buffalo Bills passing offense is a little bit better than the pass defense of the Ravens. A key matchup is going to be the wide receiver Stephon Diggs for Buffalo against whoever cornerback he goes up against. It wouldn't surprise me if they put Marcus Peters on Stephon Diggs, because Marcus Peters, I would say, is arguably the best cornerback on that team for Baltimore. He did have 4 interceptions in the regular season. He had 1 critical one against the Titans, which basically essentially preserved the victory for the Baltimore Ravens last week. And I see this is really you look at this, and I think that is going to be the difference in this game. And again, it's not something we'd be really bewildered at if we wouldn't be bewildered by Baltimore pulling off the win in this game. And I think in this particular game, this is one really almost a toss-up that can go either way. But I think Buffalo is going to want to seek redemption and seek retribution in this game for losing. Buffalo seeking retribution for losing to Baltimore in that last game, and also the fact that Baltimore has defeated them 3 consecutive times. I'm sure that is going to factor in as far as incentive and impetus for Buffalo goes, and I do see them winning this one just barely. I think it's going to be like the 3 to 7 point victory for Buffalo. It might come down to the final possession, but I do like the Bills to win this one in a tight contest. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.